other teachers are safe. Okay. Always read and check new investigation carefully. Appropriate safety symbols should be presented in the investigation to alert students of hazardous precaution. So these things you need to keep in mind as a guidance, okay? And responding to an accident, common emergency. Um, if an accident occurs, the immediate concern should be for person injured. First aid should be administered in the room to stop the flow of blood in the case of a cut. Wash off any caustic chemicals on the body or in the eyes. If the injury, a cut or abrasion, wash the injured area thoroughly. So when you have this more, you're gonna find out what to do for accident happened. Okay, I will attach this Texas safety standard on the blackboard, so you can keep in mind all the time this standard. Okay, so yep, you need to keep in mind this is a poster for safety too. So yep, students need to care for the using fire tool. Right? And also, desk arrangement can help you manage your classroom. It makes your classroom safe and also better way to manage it. These first two is for independent work, test or beginning of the year, lecture style, uh, desk arrangement. So this is chalkboard, blackboard over here, and then students face to the blackboard. Okay. It can be just one line or paired. Okay. Oops. And then these two for group work. So the desks get together, 4 to 6 desks get together, or 5, right? And then this one is for demonstration and discussion. So if you want to show some demonstration, yes, all the students need to see, and they want to discuss. Yep, good way to look everybody's face. So this way you can have time for discussion too. Okay? And when you have a lab, you can have like separate lab. Separate lab means has own separate lab table and cabinet. Easy to use, right? But you need to arrange time to use the lab, right? Integrated lab means it has desk, chair for lecture, and also lab equipment on the side. So when you have integrated lab, you can teach, you can do the lecture and also the lab together. So it's very convenient. But sometimes it need, of course, it needs more money because each classroom need to have a sink, water, and some equipment and materials. So it needs more money, and also sometimes students, some students want to still in lecture, um, but you need to go. They need to do lab right away. Then some students in the lab area, some students in the lecture area, it can make some unsafe classroom too. So you need to aware about that. But the separate lab, it's more inconvenient, right? You need to arrange time, but students can more focus on lab. So either way, you can choose, but you need to check with your students, find out which way is the best for your students. Okay. And for your equipment and material, you can get them from online order. In the past, some students asked me how to get worms. So I give some website where they can order worms. So online, if you have a little time, um, you can in advance order and then get the materials reasonable price. And local stores also in this area, Arlington and Dallas, all area, you can find good science material stores too. And from your friends and cooperative teacher, principals, other corporate teachers, you can find out some good materials from them too. Okay, so use all these resources for getting materials and equipment. Also, parents, family are good resources for materials and also for help. When you invite them into your school activities, you can have more helps from them and also more knowledge and understanding about your students. Because parents are the one who stay with them and know more them. So try to get family involved in your science lesson. So for that, you need to keep communicate with them. All right. For communication, I want you to develop some parents letter. Whenever you start to teach some science unit, you better have a chance to write letter to them and inform what you're gonna teach. So why don't you join us for this, or why don't you donate some materials? You can ask them, right? So have a communication way. And for your classroom environment, oxygen-rich blood. What that means, when you have your classroom oxygen-rich, then your students' brain gonna have a more focus and then have a better attention. That's from a lot of research studies. So try to open a window more often. Try to take your students outside. Then they're gonna have more oxygen and they're gonna have a more focused on your lesson. Animals and plants are also a great way to put in your science classroom. What kind of animals you can have in your science classroom? So many, right? You can have birds, you can have some snakes, many things you can bring. But remember, when you want to put animals and plants in your classroom, you always think about your students. Some students have allergy to fur, or some fruits and plants. So check with your students if they have allergy to some specific animals and plants. Okay. And then also when you start to teach some unit, you better develop a station where students can learn about your science unit. For example, if you're gonna teach a plant, then you can set a plant station at the corner of your science classroom. So whenever students have a chance, then they go there and read the books, watch videos, or they can touch some model or some photos, many things they can enjoy. So it's a good way to put science stations as part of your classroom. And also think about some light. Sometimes you light off and on the ceiling you can show some constellation. Oh, this is science safety standard. I tried to open it and now it's suddenly opened. So anyway, we checked through this, right? So, and again, I will attach this on the blackboard so you can check that. You can have it with you. So light also a great way to manage your classroom. Sometimes people didn't think about light, but when you light on and off, then students can pay attention to you. And also when you have a constellation on the ceiling, students gonna have a more bigger imagination. So think about this too. I want to share a story. This is very interesting. Um, in China, there are small village. Actually, they live in a very small island, and but they don't have any electricity at all, and even they don't have a boat at all. But because they live in an island, to go to school, the children on that island need to use pulley. That's very interesting, right? So if they want to go out of the island, or they want to come back to the island, they use a special pulley. So I'm gonna show that story. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger. I think this is the biggest. Okay, and then this is, I'm gonna show that. Oops. Okay, these are two children who live on that small island. Let's see how they're gonna go back to the island. All right. So they just finished school, and then there's just some big strong wire that goes into the island, right? So this older brother wanna go back to home with this pulley. It's a special pulley, a little bigger than what we had in classroom, right? And let's see how they're gonna go back to. See, younger brother and older brother, they are using this pulley. Okay, and then go back to their island. That's interesting, right? So when you bring this kind of story, students gonna very excited about that. And this story is real, so um, students gonna more focus on the pulley, right? So when you wanna teach a pulley, you might bring this story. So again, when you have a lot of story from all over the world, then students gonna more excited, more engaged in your lessons. Then it's good way to manage your science classroom, right? So try to find stories and bring them into the class. Now I'm gonna give you fundamental for effective classroom management. I show many ways to manage your science classroom, but here's the fundamentals. Know what you want and what you don't want. Show and tell your students what you want. When you get what you want, acknowledge it, not praise it. Okay? When you get something else, act quickly and appropriately. This is fundamentals. So first you need to know yourself and show what you want, and then you need to react to your students' behavior right away. All right? That's the way you can easily manage it. And then you also need to think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow developed these people's needs. Okay, the basic needs is physiological needs: air, water, food. When students satisfied with these physiological needs, then they're gonna feel more safe. They're gonna feel more balanced. Then you can easily manage them. Okay, and then the second level is safety and security. So if you made your classroom safe, the students gonna more